Alright, leading up to somewhere, I guess, with all this. I'll tell you where it's going. And what you got, what I found. And apparently, I'm the only one that's going to be there. So, what I've showed you is that it says I, lo I, behold I. I'm the one that's talking in the whole book of the, Bible. There's one voice from cover to cover. And here I is again. But I will show thee which was noted in the scriptures of truth. I guess they said that when the Spirit of truth comes, he will show you what's noted in the scripture of truth. And there is none other, none, that holds with I, or me, or whatever, in these things, but Michael, your prince. And then if you look in Revelations 12, you'll see that Michael is the guy who defeats evil. If the hero doesn't defeat evil, then I don't know. Maybe I watched too many movies. Alright, so here we are in, that was Daniel 10:21. This one here is Hebrews 2. And you will see in the 17 down here. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. So we know who they're talking about. And he's made like men. So that means he's not one. But he's made like them. Just like when it says, God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. We're made like him, but we're not God. We're not going to be God when we die either. Wake up. So, what am I getting at? What have I found? That we're made in this likeness, or what is it? And what's the delusion? What's the veil? The veil that remains in 1 Corinthians 3:15, the veil remains when Moses is read. Unto this day when Moses is read, there's a veil upon their hearts. The secret or the power is that you can create these virgins or women. And a virgin is a brand new, church, and the only way it can flourish is that you leave a smidgen of truth and escape route. It's called a snare. And if you know how to, be a fisher of men as Jesus taught, then you're a fisher of men's souls, or men are souls, all those poor lost souls. Anyway, so all those poor lost men, Jesus taught you how to be fisher of souls. And when you want to cast a net, and Peter made a different net than Paul, we all know this, we can see there's different routes and different nets and different things going on in the world. Your net is eternal, and it is allowed if it's formed properly. You do have to make the net to have an escape route. And I read the Bible, and I saw through it, and I've read the Quran, and I see through it, and I see their escape routes. And that's what it talks about, walking through the valley of death, and you can come out without any harm if you just see the double talk that's in there, and how you could form your own net. So all scriptures are really snares. And then here's where the power is, and it's in cursing, and it says not to do this, and it's a last resort, because even the Freemasons, when they're in the fire and when they're burning, they throw out curses, and they tell you not to do curses, but then they do it. And all the greats in the past, people like Thomas Jefferson, he'll tell you that your government, can't grant you anything. All they can do is put limits on things that was granted you at birth, if you ask me, life. They can only put limitations on the freedom that life gives. They can't give you anything more than God did, and I've showed this in the other videos, how Allah has, predetermined or predestinated all the options that are out there, and they chose the ones that he laid out there. It says where the evil comes from. In 1 Samuel, an evil spirit sent from the Lord, so it's just a label. It's not evil if it came from the Lord. It's just there to tempt and test and to see if they would fall, and they did. Is it so bad that they destroyed something? Isn't he able to rebuild what he once built? If he can give life, he can, that's what the example is in coming back from the dead. It's not as you've taken it, and then you do have the power of creation, and the curse is the bottom line. It's based on 1 Peter 4:15. That was my first religious video, and this will probably be my last. And that's where all the power is, that if somebody comes to you, if somebody starts it, then you have the right to defend it with a curse. And that's anything. And you can curse anything that is theirs, them and theirs. So if they're like, just like I'm explaining to you, you can snare and you can become, your wife is your church or your belief, and you can snare followers or children or whatever. Those are the true symbolic meanings of scriptures. I would prefer that you don't form a virgin, and that you just, live in the one that was provided to you, and don't look it in the mouth. There's no reason to ask where your things come from. Romans 14:14 through 20 is great. It'll tell you you can partake of whatever you want. Don't listen to these fools, and don't call them fools. Just do what you got to do. And the curse that I put on anybody that wants to contend or call me a liar or meddle in my business is there plain for them to see. Put up or shut up. If you have anything to say against what I know, put your soul on it. I'll put my soul on denial, winner take all. I know what's going on, and only I know what's going on. We're not waiting for anybody, we're waiting for you. Wake up inside, keep it to yourself, only do what you have to do. You don't see the birds building nuclear bombs, or the fish, or the bears. There isn't turf wars, and there isn't gangs, and it's not about that. There's plenty. There's more than plenty. The distraction is put in place by those that realize the power of creation. And they've created themselves virgins, and they want their little worlds, and that's why it says, my Father's house has many mansions. There's plenty of people that have discovered this truth, and that's why there's all these religions, and that's why they're allowed. If you do look in the double talk and you read between the lines of any everlasting belief, any of the major religions, you will see a way out. I guarantee you that. I've read them cover to cover. Good luck with it, you and all yours. And MYOB, it's for your own best interest. Keep it to yourself. Let your God do all that has to be done. You don't have to do anything unless you think you created all that is, was, and ever will be. You're a sub-creator, and you're being tested. Are you happy? Are you sad? What are you? And who was supposed to care?